Hello everyone, welcome back to our AWS learning channel. In our previous videos we have covered EC2 instances, right? Today we are going to dive into EBS concept. EBS is nothing but Elastic Block Store, which is essentially the hard drive for your EC2 instances. By end of this video, what you will be knowing, what is EBS volumes are and why we need them, what different types of EBS volumes available, how to create them and attach and manage EBS volumes, and how we can take a snapshots and backup strategies. So what exactly is EBS? EBS stands for Elastic Block Store. Think of it like a virtual hard drive that you can attach and detach from your EC2 instance. Just like your laptop is having a hard drive to store some operating systems and data related information, EC2 also required storage, right? So for that we will be using Elastic Block Store. So the key points to be understand here is this is a persistent storage. It will not be removed after reboot of your system, and it is a network attached. What does it mean? You can connect to your EC2 instance over the network. This means you can attach or detach from one instance to another instance. This is availability zone specific, and you can take a snapshot for backup of your EC2 if your EBS volumes data, and you can recover point in time snapshots can be recovered at any point in time. Which of these backups are stored in the S3 bucket? Okay, we have different types of EBS volumes available. We have mainly four types, that is general purpose SSDs, most commonly used ones, GP3 and GP2 that we call. GP3 is the newer one, more flexible one. This is used for boot volumes and development environments and low latency applications. This is most commonly used type of EBS volume. IO2 and IO1, those are provisioned IOPS SSD. These are the highest performance SSDs which are used for databases like MySQL, PostgreSQL, and MongoDBs. These are little expensive. Throughput optimized HDDs are there. Those are SD1 type. These are low cost HDDs and we can keep frequently access data here. And throughput intensive workloads. These cannot be used as a boot volumes. These are used for big data, data warehouse and log processing. If you want to store a large amount of data for analysis, the historical data will go for SD1. There is a cold HDD, that is SC1 type. This is the lowest cost and very less frequently accessed data can be kept here. Some kind of archives, file servers data. This also cannot be used as a boot volume. Okay, these are the different types available. Alright, let's jump into our AWS console and we'll see how we can create and attach EBS volume to an EC2 instance. Right? As a step one, first we have to create an EC2 instance. We'll go to EC2 service and launch instances, and we'll give some name to this demo EBS instance. Demo EBS instance, and we'll select OS image from Amazon Linux AMI, which is free tier eligible one 2023. And we'll go for T3 micro, that's fine. The instance type, and we need a key pair to log into the machine, right? I'll select already existing key pair. For our hands-on project, I'll just deploy this in a public subnet itself. I'll use allow all traffic security group for testing purpose, but you can only allow SSH traffic for this. So when you see the storage part here, by default the 8 GB GP3 root volume has been assigned to your EC2 instance. Whenever you create a EC2 instance, this is by default storage that you will get, and you will click on launch instance. Okay, meanwhile the instance is in launching state, so we'll go ahead and create a volume. When you go to EC2 the service, you will see something called Elastic Block Store. Go to your volumes and create a volume. You can select volume type. As I mentioned, there are different types of volumes available. So based upon your need, you have to select a volume. So generally we will select GP3 for general purpose, and the different types of volume types can be selected for different things. So we'll go with GP3, and I will give 10 GB size extra volume. Keep IOPS and throughput as it is. I have to be very careful while creating a volume, right? You have to choose the availability zone same as to your EC2 instance. Otherwise, you'll not be able to attach this ABS volume to your EC2 instance. So first I'll go ahead and check where my EC2 instance has been deployed. Duplicate this tab and we'll check once. Okay, my instance is at, how you can check? You can check the instance details. It's in East US 1. So let me create the one in East US 1. And you have encryption. Keep by default enable is recommended in production, but for now you can leave it as default and create a volume. Initially the volume will show as a pending, and once it is available then only you will be able to attach this volume. See, this is your available volume of 10 GB size, and you can select this volume, actions, attach a volume. You can select your demo EBS instance. This is showing because both volume and your EC2 machines are in same availability zone. You have to select where you want to attach this the volume, right? Like dev, SDF, XVDF. When you are attaching your device, it will auto populate and you have to select either one of them. I'll go with XVDF. SDF is also fine. That's all you have to fill, which device you want to attach and device name, and then just go ahead and attach the volume. Previously the volume state was available, right? In some time it will changes to in use, but we are not done yet. We have to connect to your EC2 machine and check if that volume is available first. Okay, you're seeing the volume state is now in use. Let me connect to the EC2 instance that it has attached to. Let me grab the public IP of the server and connect via putty tool. EC2-user is the default username for Amazon machines and the public IP of the server. To connect to the machine for authentication purpose, you have to use a key pair that you have given while creating your EC2 instance. Okay, now I'm able to connect to my machine. So first of all, we have to see whether that 10 GB has been attached to this machine or not, right? How you can check? To list all the block devices, the command that you have to use is lsblk. So just type lsblk. It will show the 10 GB one disk is available, but there is no mount point. In the last column, you are seeing the mount points, right? The 8 GB one has a slash root, but the 10 GB one doesn't have any mount points. Once you log into the machine, you have to check whether that volume has been attached to this machine or not. How to check that? You have to list all the volume blocks existing in this machine by using this command lsblk. So you have 8 GB volume and 10 GB volume. 10 GB volume is not formatted. So what you have to do, check if the volume has any file system. How to check that? Sudo file -s /dev/ and give this sudo file -s/dev/. So if it gives data, it means it doesn't have any file system. So we will be creating one file system and create a mount at certain point. So to create a file system, most probably we will use ext4 file system. How you can create a file system? Sudo mkfs -t ext4. Sudo mkfs make a file system -t ext4 and give the block. Okay, you are seeing now the file system has been created for that particular block. And now we have to create a mount point and mount this volume. So for example, you have to mount this volume at /data. How you can do that? First create a directory called /data. Sudo mkdir, make a directory /data. Okay, you have made a directory now. You have to mount the volume to this directory. How you can do that? Sudo mount and then this block to /data directory. So now under this directory you will be able to create any of the files. So you can now verify df-h list all the file systems. So this is /dev/nvme1n1 is now mounted to /data, right? This is how you can format and mount a volume. So for example, if you reboot your system, you will lose this mounting point. How you can make it permanent? So first you have to get UUID of this block and add that to fstab. Let's do that. Sudo blk id, get the blk id. This is the UUID of this block. Get this and edit the fstab. So I'm using nano editor, sudo nano /etc/fstab. You can use vim as well. /fstab. It'll open a text file. So you'll come to the third row and give it as UUID equal to whichever the one you have copied, and then which mount point /data space /data, and what is the file system that you have used, ext4, and then defaults no fail and 02 is the common thing that you have to give. Control O write, enter to save, Control X to exit from nano. So whenever you add this, you are actually making the mount as a permanent. So you can unmount and mount again and see. Sudo, for example, I did unmount /data. Sorry, not unmount, it is umount. It's the shortcut. So if you see df-h, you are not seeing that, right? The /data mount point is not there. When again sudo mount -all, sudo mount -a, everything mounted, and then if you do df-h, you are seeing that slash data1, right? That's how you can make that mount as a permanent. And we will also try to create a test file sudo touch, and we'll create under this data, and we'll check. I'm sorry, sudo touch slash data test hyphen file dot txt. We'll create some test file and we'll add some data to that test file. This data persist, something like that, and we will be adding that to your test file. So see, this is available, and if you cat to read the data inside that, you can also do that. So you are seeing the data. So this is our first demo, how we can attach an EBS volume, how we can make it as a persistence. And in the next session, we will see how we can resize an EBS volume and how we can take a snapshot of that EBS volume. Thank you for watching.